So let's talk about Uniswap V3. It comes with this incredible promise of capital efficiency, right? The idea is you can earn way more in fees with a lot less capital. But, and this is a big but, that power comes at a price. It needs your full attention. This is absolutely not a set it and forget it kind of deal. If you treat it that way, you might find that the free cheese is actually in a mousetrap.
And that really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? Is this core feature of V3, concentrated liquidity, actually a trap? I mean, it draws you in with these potentially massive yields, but there are some hidden risks that can trip you up, even if you've been in this space for a while. So let's break it all down.
Okay, first up, let's talk about the appeal. Why is everyone so hyped about V3 anyway? It all comes down to efficiency. The core concept is that your money can work so much harder for you than in older automated market makers. But how? How does it actually pull that off? Well, it's all about this key phrase, concentrated liquidity. See, in older systems, your capital was kind of spread across every possible price. I mean, literally, from zero to infinity. V3 is a game changer because it lets you say, nope, I want all my firepower right here, in this specific price range where I think all the trading is going to happen. And if you're right, if the price stays in your zone, you get a much bigger slice of the fee pie. And this brings us to what is, without a doubt, the most critical thing you have to understand as a V3 liquidity provider. Your investment can only be in one of two states at any given time. You're either in range or you're out of range. And knowing the difference, well, it's everything. Okay, so what does that actually mean for you? Well, when you're in range, life is good. Your position is active, you're holding both assets in the pair, and you're collecting those sweet trading fees. But the second the price moves outside of your range, two things happen immediately. One, the fees stop completely. And two, your position gets converted into 100% of just one of the two assets. So right away, you're faced with a pretty big strategic trade-off. You could set a really tight, narrow range to try and maximize your fee income. But that means you have to manage it constantly, and your risk of falling out of that range is super high. Or you could set a nice wide range. That's way more passive, kind of safer, but your fee potential is much, much lower. There's really no free lunch here. And this brings us to the biggest danger, the thing that really catches so many people out. Let's call it the one-sided risk. Let's take a closer look at what actually happens to your money when the price decides to leave your carefully chosen range. So imagine you start here. You've provided liquidity for, let's say, asset A and asset B. The price is humming along right in the middle of your range. Your position is nicely balanced, 50-50. You're earning fees, everything's going exactly to plan. But you know how it is, markets don't just sit still. The price starts to drift, it's getting closer and closer to the edge of your range, and boom, this is what happens. The instant the price crosses that line, your entire position flips into a single asset. In this example, you're now holding 100% asset A and 0% asset B. And remember, the most important part, you are no longer earning any fees. And this quote just nails it perfectly. What happened is your diversified, fee-earning liquidity position has suddenly morphed into a simple, one-sided bet on a single asset. You're not an LP anymore, you're just a holder. And if that asset's price keeps dropping, you're feeling all of that loss with absolutely no fee income to soften the blow. Okay, so that sounds pretty scary, right? But here's the good news. It's totally manageable if you have a plan. So let's build out a conservative framework you can use to go into V3 with your eyes wide open. Here's a simple 4-step process to follow. First, you've got to define your thesis. What do you actually think the price is going to do? Stay stable? Go up? Go down? Second, choose a range that fits that thesis and fits how much time you actually have to manage it. Third, and this is so important, set your rebalance triggers ahead of time. Know exactly when you're going to make a change. And finally, you must have a plan for what you will do when, and I mean when, not if, your position goes out of range. Seriously, think of it like a pilot's pre-flight checklist. Before you deposit a single dollar, you should be able to answer every single one of these questions. Are you pairing volatile assets or stablecoins? What is your price prediction? Are you going narrow or wide? What's your trigger to rebalance? What's your escape plan for when you're out of range? And, crucially, have you actually thought about the gas fees it'll cost to make all these moves? So when you pull this all together, it really comes down to one fundamental shift in how you think about this. Providing liquidity on Uniswap V3 is not, I repeat, not a passive investment. It is an active strategy.
This is it. This is the single most important thing to take away from all this. The power that V3 gives you is undeniable, but it demands something in return. It demands that you are an active manager. You have to be in the driver's seat, not just a passenger along for the ride. And to put an even finer point on it, you absolutely have to plan for what you'll do when you're out of range before you even start. Trying to make a decision in the heat of the moment when your position is losing value, that's a recipe for disaster. You have to plan ahead. And so that all leads to one final question, a question for you. You now know the deal. You understand the trade-offs, you see the risks, and you have a framework to manage it all. That promise of amazing efficiency is real, but it isn't free. So, are you ready to actively manage? The choice is yours.